And welcome back to Haleiwa, and we are ready to go for this round 3 heat number 12. John Florence, Glenn Hall, Nate Yeomans, and Kalani David.
And then I changed my board for the epoxy one, more light, more fast, you know. But that's what tough heat. I know all the guys gonna rip on the heat, you know. Know Zeke for a long time. He surfed the QS with me. Always like cool guy.
Guess who's made this wave of this heat official? Kalani David. This guy does Miller flips and full, 540s on a skateboard. What is he going to do here?
Yeah, he's just so coordinated with his feet. Watch his footwork here as he pops this little air reverse at the end. And that was so cool. Watch him ride fakie for, 5 seconds, and very smooth. So, you know, the judges just gave him a 4.83. And
boy, he's got the talent to do it, and he's working to the inside. No priority here except with these guys now. David's got 4th priority, and he's got to let the other 3 surfers go on this first wave. Glenn Hall, Micro Hall, representing Ireland. And the Aussie surfer representing that country.
He's been taking a couple of the guys under his wing and really producing some solid results. Namely, Matt Wilkinson has been a guy, his star pupil so far this year. So kind of double dipping this year as we see Glenn Hall whip into a couple of sharp backhand whips. Look at that angle. That is so cool from the ski. I believe that's our boy Larry Haynes shooting off the back of the sled there. So again, Glenn Hall, he's not the craziest surfer in terms of throwing caution in the air. You're not going to see him do too many aerial moves, but he is a smart surfer.
Glenn Hall going to keep busy because he's got 4th priority. He's got a little section to the inside. Is he going to launch? Lots of speed, and he does. Without a grab, and he pulls that one off. And he laughs. Gets a chuckle out of that. And you kind of want the cutaway of Matt Wilkinson right there. Go, yeah!
He's not going to do any airs, and he just boosts one. Look at right here, widen his stance, getting lots of speed generated, and he pops a pretty clean air. Now, he took a minute to recover, and obviously had a little bobble there, and the judges will take that into consideration when they drop a score.
Getting underway right now, Nate Yeomans. This goofy footer can do it any direction, and he just charges hard. What a seasoned competitor. Spent a half year on the World Championship Tour and just unleashing his rail fury.
Well, I don't know. I like the way it looked under his feet, but, you know, I'm very, it's such a familiar sight to see Nate Yeomans ride a really short board. He likes those tiny little flyers that kind of speed down the line. And you can see that wave got really fat.
Well, Nate's a pretty big guy. I mean, here's the man himself. Well, one of the most popular, if not the most popular surfer in the world. Well, if there's a clip of John Florence you want to watch on his backhand here. And he goes to work, and one thing you want to do, not fall. The next thing you want to do is put it on rail so he gets on the board, which is last priority. Kalani David. Is it a barrel? Is it a launch? And it's just a nice snap off the top. Right behind him, Glenn Hall on his backhand. Do the backhand surfers, well, looking for on this in these ways.
Typical, yeah. On your backhand, you can get that little pivot bottom turn and just arrive at the lip line at 12 o'clock. And John did that about 3 times. And this is a very switched on competitively speaking John right here. I like the fact that he grinded out that wave. He didn't go for something flashy. He didn't look for a ramp. And we see Kalani David catch a little rail right here. Actually, he spun right out of that. That's where he kind of slipped out. So the fins just kind of got a little squirrely on him. But I love that snap prior.
Easy, a la Joel Parkinson, but he's doing some amazing surfing. Nate Yeomans in and out. Nate Yeomans, well, he used his priority. Priority 1 right now, Glenn Hall.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm here with CJ Hobgood, and gosh, it's been a long road, CJ. You've been coming here to Hawaii since, what, 14 years old? And, God, it's been a long road, and you're enjoying kind of this, you know, retirement year, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, I really am enjoying it. Actually, I was surfing Rocky Rights with Michael Ho the other day, and when those stories are going down.
Yeah, it seems like you're doing it the right way, you know, coming out, spreading good vibes, but you're in it. You're a competitor still right now. A Triple Crown title, that'd be a meaningful way to cap off a career.
Yeah, you know, you try not to orchestrate or premeditate things too much, but
needed to make a heat to eliminate some people.
Well, here we go. You can see that offshore wind just making it really difficult to boost into the air for Kalani David. Got detached from his surfboard, and John trying to make it happen here, but there's that deep water spot that the left is notorious for, waiting for that wave to build up. So again, you know, these lefts are, you know, they can be really fun, but you have to be so sharp. And
going to give it to him. And is he going to go left? No, he's going to go, well, he wanted to go in his forehand, but he's got to back off. He does, because I guess he's got priority. This guy, Glenn Hall. Hall chasing his section, goes in. Did John collapse that section?
That's debatable, you know, but as he kicked out, he did create a little bit of whitewash, so we'll see if the judges take that into consideration as we see a swooping carve from Yeomans. Another swooping carve, but right here he's going to lose a little bit of traction on his fins, a lot of traction, and couldn't quite spin out of it fast enough to regain control. So
your leader, you didn't miss anything. We pick up the action here. It's live, and it's John Florence looking for a 3-3-3 to take the lead. He opened with that 6-5-7, so John looks to get through this heat. John's thinking Triple Crown. This surfer right here, Kalani David, looking, get me into the top 96. I want to pursue a CT title next year, or at least a chance of jumping on the CT. Meanwhile, Nate Yeomans, he's been on the World Championship Tour.
Nate Yeomans is the one really looking at that cutoff top 10. I love what I'm seeing competitively here from John, just milking these small, tiny little lefts, finishing that one off. So, you know, he's definitely going to get rid of that low score of a 2.23, and a missed opportunity here for Kalani David. Nice little flick. Another little vertical snap, so he just needs to finish this wave off, but that end section is a little bit dumpy, so that's what's tricky about these left-handers. It kind of
Makaha, so John does leave. He goes over to Makaha and surfs that event as we take a look at Kalani David. David with a nice pivot off the top, a little closeout section. But maybe 2 to 3, 1 to 3 foot flying.
Spot on, Dave. Yeah, 2 to 3 feet as we see Yeomans get a little freaky on the inside, just busting the tail loose. I wonder what he was doing when he was signaling to his buddy on the beach earlier. I didn't see him change boards, so that's kind of interesting. We saw him motioning to a friend about something, but he never did change equipment. Kalani just getting stuck on that last maneuver, so that's not going to be a keeper for him. Kind of a fun.
Fast you can. Glenn Hall looks to win this thing, and right now John Florence has just jumped into the lead. Glenn Hall needs a 5.68 if he wants to be the leader and have a cushion. With 3:17 on the clock, Glenn Hall has found a nice little nugget on his backhand and continues.
Upped his ante. He got a 5 on his last little left-hander. Look how clean these waves are. Beautiful southeast winds. Nice little floater. And say right here, the wave actually kind of rebuilt. It had some energy. And so he capitalized with 1 or 2 little wiggles. You know, he came unstuck in that last turn, but himself a nice lead.
John Florence looking on point right now for these conditions, not overcooking anything, looking to launch here. Kalani David, there is, well, it goes for a high line and a float. A little disappointed with that wave. A lot of effort. Had some speed, down to 118 remaining, and he is disappointed. A 6.57 and a 5.10. This man right here finds himself in 4th and needs to get out of it. He needs a 5.18 to overtake Glenn Hall with 48 seconds on the clock. Hopefully this wave will give him some opportunity. Nice little section here. Now it gets a little soft. There's not much more of a wall left, but he's going to make the most of it. You're selling this wave and your surfing ability on this wave to 5 judges. Subjective judging here. And I'll tell you, it keeps going. What looked like it was going to die out, it kept going.
Dave, he's yelling at his legs. He's like, come on, I'm not done yet.
And he needed to get to his feet. Hands have to be pushed off the rail, hands off the rail, actually in a standing position for the most part.
Quick setup turn here. This is the best part of the wave, and that was a lot of whip through that little carve. Little flick right there, chucking some spray towards the channel. So, you know, in my eyes, he easily got that score. 5.18. It's a pretty solid wave. You know, we've seen John get a 5 and a 6.5 and kind of similar type of wave. Again, this is where his legs are on fire. Watch him yell at his legs. Right there. Come on, chicken sticks, keep going. I think he's done the job, but it's up to the judges. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, Nate Yeomans gets a 6.83 and jumps up into the second spot. John Florence wins by 0.10. The muscles, the slam, that was an MMA battle, and Nate Yeomans makes it through.